Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. Excuse my face. Today has been a just clean the whole entire house day. I have today off for a holiday, so I just decided that I was going to do a lot of deep cleaning, getting the house ready for Thanksgiving, and just getting some stuff done I hadn't got done in a while. But I did want to pop on here and tell you guys that for meal prep this week, because I did have today off from work, I only need to take lunch with me to work 2 days, so for Tuesday and Wednesday. Then I work from home Thursday and Friday, so those 2 days I don't have to worry about lunch being portable. And then I'll prep my lunches slash dinners. As you guys know, what you see me prep, I eat for lunch and for dinners during the week. So I'm just gonna put them all in my meal prep containers this week because it's just easier that way. Also, if you guys are new here, my husband does work on the road, so typically, for the most part, he is gone all week and then he's in on the weekends. So I'm not prepping, don't have to prep anything for him, and really don't have to plan for dinners. If it looks like he is gonna be home throughout the week, then I change my dinner plan up. If it looks like one of his runs will bring him through our town and he'll stop here. So in those days, then I just kind of change up my meal plan to adjust for that. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. Okay, the first recipe is going to be a smash burger bowl, which I've made these before. I'm doing it a little bit different this time. But I do have the recipe here that I found on Pinterest. And then the other one is something new I've never made before. This is a queso chicken bowl. I am mixing this up. I will link both of these down below from Pinterest. This one uses hash browns for the base, but I'm going to use cauliflower rice and just kind of make my Spanish cauliflower rice that I like to make. So I'm going to do that for the base. And then on the smash burger bowls, when I've made this before and what the recipe calls for is like using little baby potatoes and cutting them up and cooking those. But I'm going to use hash browns for those because I do plan on having breakfast for dinner one night this week, and I bought some hash browns for that. So I just thought, well, save a little bit of money. We'll use a part of it for this recipe and part of it for the breakfast for dinner. I'm also changing up the sauce. Typically you can make a smash burger sauce, which I have made when I made this previously, but I'm gonna use, again, kind of because I needed to buy a different sauce for my Dorito taco salad, I just decided to use that same sauce because this is like a Cajun spicy sauce, so I'm just changing it up a little bit. So anyway, going to do those two things, and then I'm also going to make up some taco meat that I can use for my Dorito taco salads that I'll be having for either lunch or dinner also this week. So that is what I'm going to be making. Anywho, let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start with the smash burger bowls. I have my oven set to 400. Both of these recipes bake at 400, so I can go and cook them at the same time. So we're just going to get the bowls prepped and then we'll get them in the oven. So I'll be making 2 portions of this. I always like to use frozen onion to make it easier, so you need a little bit of frozen onion. Again, I'm using these hash browns instead of the potatoes. So I will weigh out 2 servings of these. I'm going to throw them in the air fryer and cook them up that way. Then that way they're already a little pre-cooked because everything in this bowl will be pre-cooked. It's really just putting it in the oven for the cheese. So you're just really putting it in there for like 8 to 10 minutes just to kind of melt the cheese and get all the flavors melted together. So we'll throw these in the air fryer and get those cooking. Then we have our extra lean ground beef here. I am going to cook up this entire thing, but I'm only going to use half of it since I'm only making 2 bowls, but I'll just use the other half for something else in the week. And then we need some sort of cheese. I'm just using reduced fat Fiesta blend cheese. For the seasoning for the meat, I'm going to use the Montreal steak seasoning. This is what I've always used. I think the original recipe uses au jus seasoning, but I like to use this. And then in place of the smash burger sauce, I'm going to be using this fire chili ranch. So honestly, I think I have like totally changed this entire recipe. Not sure that anything is the same, which that's okay, right? It at least gave me an idea of something to do. So let's go ahead and throw these in the air fryer and get this cooking up. Okay, so we have our 96% lean ground beef. I'm gonna just add in some onion to this. And then I like to add my seasoning when the meat's still raw because it just cooks up with it. And then I'll add in a little bit more after it's all cooked through. I'll taste it and see if I need to add more. I love the Montreal steak seasoning. It can get a little peppery though, so it can get a little spicy. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cook this through, and this is gonna come together really, really easily. Alrighty, this is all done. I did drain off all of the fat on there. Just gonna add in a little more seasoning. Okay, I weighed out the potatoes. Now I think I'm gonna do, oh, I need to get to ounces. Wait a second. I think I'm gonna do 4 ounces of cooked meat so I get a little bit extra protein. So I'm just gonna go ahead and measure that out. Yeah, that's only 3 ounces, so there we go, that's 4 ounces. And then, like I said, whatever I have left over, I can use for something else. And then when you put it in your tracker, you can track it as cooked, you know, rather than raw. I think typically most of the default ones you see in there are probably raw, but you can just make sure you're putting in cooked. And then we're gonna add our cheese in there. So I'm gonna put that on grams, and we're just gonna do the 28 grams. Actually, we may not even need the 28 grams because that looks like plenty with 20 grams. Well, let's just see what, make it a little extra cheesy. Okay, there's 28 grams on that one. Now let's put our queso bowls together and then we'll bake these off at the same time. The next recipe we're going to make is going to be a queso chicken bowl. So here is the recipe. I will have it linked down below. Now again, I am subbing out rice cauliflower that I'm going to make with this tomato bouillon. That's kind of how I make my kind of faux like rice cauliflower, like Spanish rice. It's nothing like it, but it just, this tomato adds just a little bit of flavor to it. And I'll add in a little bit of seasoning and stuff, of course. What you don't see here is some chicken, so I already have it in the air fryer. So it was frozen chicken that I am just cooking up in the air fryer. And then once it's mostly done, I'm gonna sprinkle some of this fajita seasoning on it. Not the whole thing, but I'll just sprinkle some of the fajita seasoning to go ahead and flavor that chicken. And I'll probably add a little bit of that to the rice cauliflower as well. And then you just need some black beans drained and rinsed, some sort of cheese, and then we're going to put some queso blanco, will be the sauce that goes on top. Although I will probably add that later, at a later time. I don't think I'll cook it with that sauce on there. I think that'll be something that when I heat it up, I will heat up the queso blanco sauce and then just pour it over on top. And then you can also add like shredded lettuce, pico de gallo, all of that on top of this. So you can see later in my week when I film my what I eat in a day videos, you can see how I dress this up to make it a little bit more filling. So like I said, the chicken is in the air fryer, so let's go ahead and put this in the pan and get this cooking. I added some cooking spray to this, and honestly, the key to this recipe is, for me, this is how I do it. I totally flatten it out in the pan. Oh, I forgot my tomato. Then I add in my tomato bouillon first before I flatten it. I don't really measure this. I kind of just know how much to use. And because of the rice cauliflower being a little liquidy, and as it cooks down, it will release more moisture, you don't really need to add any water to it. So you just add the tomato bouillon and mix it in there really well. And then, like I said, I just flatten it down in the pan. I have it on about 6.5 on my stovetop here. And I just kind of flatten it down so it's That's why I use kind of a bigger pan. And then what I do is I let it get nice and crispy and kind of dehydrated, and then I will kind of toss it around until all of it is really dry like rice, and it's just perfect. And I'll put half of this in each of the bowls. So when I'm making 4 of anything, I do use 2 bags of the rice cauliflower. This just really bulks up your meals and adds volume to them, and extra veggies. So we're gonna go and do that and just let that sit there. See how our rice is doing. This is perfect. That's what I like to see. Just a little bit of crispiness. I say I let it sit there for a good like 10 minutes on each side. So I just do it on one side, 10 minutes, and then probably only like 5 minutes the second time after I flip it. It's usually pretty dry by then. Alrighty, so I am going to put about half of this rice in each one of these for the base. I'm not going to worry about weighing it. I'm just going to kind of eyeball the ounces because I used the whole bag of the whole 12-ounce bag. Okay, that is a little bit more. Alrighty. And then we have our chicken that I did cook in the air fryer with that fajita seasoning. So I'm going to weigh this out in ounces. And this is that Tyson fully cooked chicken that you just need to put in the either oven or air fryer or microwave, any of them. But I just added the seasoning after they started to kind of thaw out. So that's 3.5 ounces. Let's see what we have left here. It does not want to zero out. There we go. Okay, so I think I'm going to do one more in each one. So just right about 4 ounces on these as well. Now cheese. And then I plan on pairing these, when I have them for dinner, I plan on pairing these with just like a side salad, just to add some extra veggies. But of course this has the cauliflower rice, so it has quite a bit of veggies already in it, but I've been liking having kind of a little side salad for dinners lately. So I plan on doing that. Just harder to do that with lunch because I do take it to work. So I usually just kind of do a bigger side salad at dinner time just to make sure I'm getting all the veggies in. A little bit too much. Okay. Probably thinking, didn't you just say we had black beans in this? We sure did. I found it in the sink when I was putting that pan away. So I'm just going to kind of put them on top. I'm going to do a 1/4 cup, but we'll also see how many grams that is. So it looks like 41 grams on this one. So we'll try to keep it consistent. $41 grams. Okay. So now we have all 4 of our meal preps. I'm going to go ahead and put this into a 400-degree oven. I'm going to cook them for just about 8 minutes, just until the cheese is melted, because everything else is cooked. Here they are out of the oven. Here are the smash burger bowls. So we'll just add that fire chili ranch on top. So I don't even know if we can call it smash burger bowls, because I think the smash burger is all about the sauce, but whatever you want to call it, our fire ranch chili burger bowls. So we'll just put that on top after I heat it up, and I may add some like shredded lettuce to it just to kind of bulk it up a little bit. And this will be one of my lunches and dinners this week. And here are our chicken queso bowls with our rice cauliflower, chicken, black beans, and then our yummy queso blanco cheese sauce. So what we'll do again is heat this up, pour the sauce on top, or probably pour the sauce up on top and then heat it up. I love the queso blanco sauce when it's all heated up. And this, I will also put lettuce and tomatoes and pico de gallo on top. I did just end up using the rest of that ground beef. I added in some taco seasoning to it because I figured this would be plenty to do 2 Dorito taco salads. So I just went and did that and just put my other ground beef in the freezer, so I have that for next week. So that'll do it for another meal prep video. I know it was super quick this week, but like I said, I was really busy today, but I wanted to get the meal prep done and just have a few dinners and lunches ready to go. Stay tuned for my What I Eat in a Day videos later this week, and you can see my Dorito taco salad, and then you can also see how all of these meals come together. And I'll see you guys then. All recipes will be linked down below. As always, you guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.